If you are hearing these words right now, it is because I need you to understand something that your heart has been questioning for far too long. The people who walked away from you, the friends who disappeared without explanation, the relationships that ended abruptly, the doors that closed in your face, none of this happened by accident. None of this was random cruelty. None of this was punishment. I moved them out of your path because they could not go where I am taking you. Their departure was not rejection. It was divine preparation. You have been carrying the weight of abandonment, wondering why those you loved chose to leave, why those you trusted turned away, why those you supported became distant. You questioned your worth, replayed conversations, analyzed every detail, searching for answers that would never satisfy you. But tonight, I am lifting the veil from your understanding. I am showing you the truth that your spirit has always known, but your mind refused to accept. I did not let them leave you. I moved them out of the way. Listen carefully, because this truth will change how you see every ending, every goodbye, every person who chose to exit your story. The season you are entering requires space that old connections could not provide. The blessing I am releasing demands an atmosphere that familiar faces would contaminate. The elevation I have planned needs room to breathe, and their presence would have suffocated it before it could take root. So I cleared the path, not to hurt you, but to heal you. Not to empty your life, but to prepare it for fullness beyond what you have imagined. You see, destiny is not a casual journey. It does not accommodate everyone who wants to come along for the ride. Destiny is selective, precise, intentional. And when I mark someone for greatness, I become protective of the atmosphere around them. I remove what would hinder, distract, or dilute the work I am doing within them. The people who left you were never meant to witness the version of yourself that I am creating. They knew the old you, the struggling you, the uncertain you, but they could not handle the transformed you, the elevated you, the divinely empowered you. Some people are assigned to certain chapters of your story, not the entire book. They serve their purpose, teach their lessons, provide their comfort or challenge, and then their role is complete. To force them to stay beyond their ordained season would have been cruel to both you and them. They would have become frustrated by your growth, intimidated by your clarity, or jealous of your progress. And you would have felt guilty for outgrowing them, restricted by their limitations, or drained by their resistance to your elevation. The pain you felt when they left was real. I do not minimize that. The confusion was genuine. The sense of loss was deep. But that pain was not punishment. It was labor pain. You were giving birth to a new season, and birth always involves separation from what was comfortable and familiar. The old environment had to break open so the new could emerge. The past had to release its grip so the future could take hold. Now you must understand something profound about divine timing and divine wisdom. I never remove anyone from your life until I have already prepared what will replace them. Before they walked away, I had already arranged better connections. Before they said goodbye, I had already positioned divine relationships. Before they chose distance, I had already moved people closer who would understand your calling, celebrate your growth, and support your destiny without jealousy or competition. The loneliness you experienced was not abandonment. It was preparation. I needed you to learn to find your strength in me, not in people. I needed you to discover your worth in my love, not in human validation. I needed you to understand that your identity comes from my voice, not from the opinions of those around you. The solitude was sacred. It was necessary. It was the classroom where I taught you lessons that only you and I could share. During those quiet months when your phone stopped ringing, when invitations ceased coming, when conversations became scarce, I was building something inside you that crowds could not provide. I was developing a spiritual sensitivity that noise would have drowned out. I was strengthening your discernment that distractions would have weakened. I was purifying your vision that compromising voices would have blurred. You thought you were losing people, but you were gaining me in ways you had never experienced before. And now, as you step into this new chapter, you will begin to see why the removal was necessary. The opportunities coming your way require confidence that insecure people would have undermined. The favor approaching your life demands humility that prideful associations would have corrupted. The influence I am placing in your hands needs wisdom that foolish counsel would have compromised. Wrong people in the right season can destroy right destiny. So I protected your destiny by removing the wrong people. This does not mean those who left are evil or worthless. It simply means they were not equipped for the altitude I am taking you to. Not everyone can breathe at the level where I am positioning you. Not everyone can handle the pressure that comes with divine assignment. Not everyone can celebrate your success without being diminished by their own sense of inadequacy. Their departure was mercy for both of you. Mercy that prevented them from becoming obstacles and prevented you from being held back. But understand this clearly: the people I am sending to replace them will be different. They will not come to take from you, but to contribute to you. They will not drain your energy, but multiply your strength. They will not question your calling, but confirm it. They will not compete with your light, but help it shine brighter. These divine connections will understand your language, share your values, and support your mission without needing constant explanation or justification. Some of you are still holding on to relationships that I have already released. You are still trying to convince people to stay who I have already moved out of position. You are still pursuing connections that I have already severed. You are still hoping for reconciliation with those whom I have already separated from your path. Let them go. Stop chasing what I have already dismissed. Stop fighting for relationships that I have already concluded. Your energy is too precious to waste on connections that have expired. The reason you have been feeling restless in certain relationships lately is because your spirit recognizes that they no longer align with your destiny. The reason conversations feel forced is because you have outgrown the topics that once bonded you. The reason you feel drained after spending time with certain people is because they are operating on a frequency that your elevated spirit can no longer tolerate. Trust these feelings. They are my way of confirming that it is time to let go. Letting go does not mean you stop caring or become bitter. It means you release them with love and gratitude for what they brought to your life during their season. It means you wish them well on their journey while continuing confidently on yours. It means you stop trying to fit into spaces you have outgrown and start embracing the larger territory I have prepared for you. The territory ahead requires a different level of spiritual maturity, emotional intelligence, and divine sensitivity. The people who could not appreciate these qualities in you would have become frustrated by your growth. They would have tried to pull you back to who you used to be, because that version was more comfortable for them to handle. But I refuse to let anyone shrink you back into a smaller version of yourself just to accommodate their limitations. Your new season will introduce you to people who celebrate your growth instead of fearing it, who encourage your dreams instead of questioning them, who understand your calling instead of mocking it. These connections will feel natural, effortless, divinely orchestrated. You will not have to convince them of your worth or apologize for your gifts. They will recognize the anointing on your life because they carry their own. They will support your vision because they understand divine purpose. The relationships that are coming will be based on spiritual alignment, not just emotional attachment or historical connection. They will be rooted in mutual respect, shared values, and common destiny rather than convenience, loneliness, or habit. These divine partnerships will multiply your impact, accelerate your growth, and amplify your influence in ways that previous connections never could. Do not fear that you will be alone forever. Do not worry that no one will understand you. Do not believe the lie that isolation is your permanent state. The separation you experienced was temporary, but necessary. It was a divine reset, not a divine rejection. I cleared the old to make room for the new. Remove the incompatible to prepare space for the divinely aligned. The people who belong in your life will find you without effort on your part. They will be drawn to the light you carry, attracted to the peace you radiate, inspired by the purpose you pursue. You will not have to chase them, convince them, or prove yourself to them. The connection will be mutual, natural, and undeniably ordained by my hand. Meanwhile, use this season of new beginnings to appreciate the space you now have to grow, explore, and become who I created you to be, without the pressure to remain who you used to be for the comfort of others. Embrace the freedom to make decisions based on my guidance rather than human expectations. Enjoy the peace that comes from authentic relationships rather than performative ones. And remember this: every person who left made room for someone better suited for your destiny. Every door that closed opened space for a door designed specifically for your calling. Every ending created a beginning. Every goodbye prepared the way for a divine hello. Nothing was lost that was truly meant to be yours. Everything that departed was clearing the path for everything that belongs. But let me speak deeper into this mystery, because your understanding must be complete. The departure you experienced was not just random removal. It was strategic repositioning. I did not simply take people away. I orchestrated a divine exchange. While you mourned what left, I was already arranging what would arrive. While you focused on the empty chairs, I was preparing hearts that would fill them with greater purpose. There are levels of relationship that correspond to levels of calling. When your calling shifts to a higher dimension, the relationships around you must shift as well. The people who walk with you through your valley season may not be equipped for your mountain season. Those who supported you in your preparation phase may not understand your manifestation phase. This is not their failure, it is divine design. Consider how a seed must break away from the soil that first nurtured it in order to become a tree. The soil was not wrong or bad, it was simply serving a different season. The tree needs different nutrients, different space, different elements than the seed required. In the same way, your growth demanded different relational nutrients than your starting point provided. I know the pain was intense, because you interpreted their leaving as rejection of who you are. But they were not rejecting you. They were simply unable to evolve with the person you were becoming. Their departure was evidence that my transformation of you was so thorough that even those closest to you could sense the shift. They left because they recognized, consciously or unconsciously, that a new version of you was emerging that they could not relate to or keep pace with. Some people are comfortable with your potential, but intimidated by your progress. They can encourage your dreams as long as those dreams remain distant possibilities, but when those dreams begin to manifest into reality, their comfort level changes. They preferred you as a person with unrealized gifts, rather than a person actively walking in divine purpose. Your elevation confronted their stagnation, and rather than rise to meet your new level, they chose to retreat to familiar ground. This is why the leaving often felt sudden or unexpected. One day they were present, engaged, supportive, and the next day they became distant, critical, or absent altogether. What happened was that your spiritual frequency began operating on a level that created dissonance with their spiritual frequency. Like a radio picking up different stations, you were no longer tuned to the same spiritual wavelength. The static between your frequencies became uncomfortable for them, so they found channels that matched their current spiritual position. Do not take this personally. Their inability to stay connected to your frequency was not a statement about your worth, it was a revelation about their readiness. Not everyone is prepared to grow at the pace that divine calling requires. Not everyone is willing to stretch beyond their comfort zones to maintain relationships with people who are being transformed by my hand. But here is what you must understand about divine timing and divine relationships. I never leave you relationally bankrupt. Even as I was moving people out of position, I was moving others into position. Even as some doors were closing, others were being unlocked. Even as some voices were becoming quiet, others were being awakened to speak into your life with greater wisdom and clarity. The new relationships coming into your life will arrive with divine credentials. They will carry their own anointing, their own calling, their own relationship with me that enables them to recognize and honor what I am doing in you. They will not need to be convinced of your value because they will see it immediately. They will not question your direction because their own spiritual sensitivity will confirm that your path is divinely ordered. These divine connections will also bring their own gifts, insights, and resources that will accelerate your journey in ways that previous relationships could not. They are not just coming to receive from you. They are coming to contribute to you. They carry pieces of your destiny that you could not access through the connections you had before. Their presence will unlock doors, reveal opportunities, and provide support that was specifically designed for the season you are entering. But the timing of their arrival had to be coordinated with the timing of the previous departures. If the old relationships had remained, there would have been no space, physical, emotional, or spiritual, for the new connections to take root. Your energy would have remained invested in trying to maintain relationships that were no longer serving your calling, leaving no capacity for relationships that were specifically designed to serve your destiny. This is why forcing people to stay who want to leave is always counterproductive. It blocks the flow of divine relationship that I am orchestrating. It keeps you connected to a frequency that you have outgrown, instead of allowing you to discover the frequency that matches your current spiritual position. It prevents the divine exchange that is necessary for your continued growth and effectiveness. Learn to recognize the seasons of relational transition. When people begin to feel distant, when conversations become strained, when shared interests no longer align, when your presence makes them uncomfortable, or their presence drains your energy, these are signs that a relational season is concluding. Do not fight the natural flow of divine repositioning. Do not try to revive what I am allowing to end. Do not beg people to stay in your life who I am releasing from your story. Instead, bless their departure with gratitude and grace. Thank them for the role they played during their season. Release them to find their own path without guilt or resentment. And create space in your heart and schedule for the divine connections that are already moving toward you with perfect timing and perfect purpose. The people who are coming will understand your language, share your values, support your vision, and complement your calling. They will not require constant explanation or justification. They will not make you feel like you need to dim your light or minimize your gifts to make them comfortable. They will encourage you to shine brighter because your light helps them see their own path more clearly. These relationships will be characterized by mutual growth rather than one-sided giving. They will bring energy rather than drain it. They will add value rather than create burden. They will multiply your impact rather than diminish your influence. They will celebrate your victories rather than secretly hoping for your failure. They will speak life into your dreams rather than sow doubt about their feasibility. But most importantly, these divine connections will understand that your relationship with me is the foundation of every other relationship in your life. They will not compete with my voice in your life or try to replace my guidance with their opinions. They will recognize that the same God who is directing your steps is also orchestrating your connections, and they will honor the divine purpose that brought you together. So stop mourning the relationships that ended and start preparing for the relationships that are beginning. Stop looking backward at who left and start looking forward to who is coming. Stop asking why they had to go and start asking what space their departure has created for divine appointments that could not have occurred while they remained. The people who left you made room for your destiny, and your destiny could not unfold with them in the way. Their departure was not a loss, it was a gift. Not a rejection, but a redirection. Not abandonment, but divine arrangement. Trust the process, embrace the space, welcome what is coming. Your greatest connections are still ahead of you, and they will understand perfectly why the others had to leave. You are entering a season where the right people will stay without effort, support without question, and love without condition. But this could only happen after the wrong people made room by stepping away. Thank them for their departure. It was the greatest gift they could give to your future.